You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Good evening, all. Good evening, Dolphin fans. Hope you guys had a very, very, very Merry Christmas and, ate all you could eat. Got all the Dolphins presents in the world that you wanted. And if you want to give us an extra Christmas present over here at Go Time Dolphins, make sure you share, like, and subscribe this latest episode on YouTube. Give us a follow on all the social medias: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, Plenty of Fish, all the good stuff. And then if you're feeling extra generous around this Christmas time, you can support us over on Patreon, /Go Time Dolphins. But, Mr. Charlie Touche, how about you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. I seen that hat before, Kadeem. I seen Tua wearing that hat. That was at the Hard Rock. I don't know what game that was. Oh, it was the Panthers game. Is when the teams wore that hat.
They've won this quite a few times this season, and I mentioned it on the Arts, a really dope hat, and Hannah Montana got it for me for Christmas, so she was paying attention, and I did not expect it. So just a brand new hat, still with the stickers on. I don't take stickers off my hat, so yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Tua had one of the best Tua picks I ever seen. He had that hat on. That was up. Tell me you seen Hard Knocks, bro.
Comes out Thursday for us UK viewers. There's links going around, and I haven't had time to watch it, but I will definitely watch it by the time we are next on with some special guests.
This is blasphemy, bro. It's a Go Time Dolphins podcast, bro. We're supposed to be on top of the Dolphin stuff, bro. I want to talk about Hard Knocks so bad. Let's get to the comments, man.
You can 100% talk about Hard Knocks. It's not like I think most stuff I kind of see before the episode even comes out over in the UK because people share it on social media. So I've seen a bunch of stuff. But shout out to Jacob Ander. Is that a buffalo?
It is a buffalo.
It's like a buffalo to me. So
it is a buffalo.
If Jacob's trying to, cross water, all that good stuff, in terms of like Buffalo fans, if you are a Buffalo fan, welcome. Robert Ashton says, "Hi guys, I made it and in time. I'm ready. Playoff permutations hurt my head, but I have a bowl of profiteroles with brandy cream. I'm ready." That sounds amazing. I'm hungry now. Moya TV says, "Up everybody," and then Robert Ashton says, "I'm with you, Kadeem. I'm gonna watch it later tonight." So yeah, Charlie, speak Hard Knocks. Like, I don't think it will give much away in terms of spoilers, given we've seen the result from the Cowboys game.
Man, listen. I don't tweet much, but I got to. Hey, shout out to Jacob, by the way. We're assuming he's a Buffalo fan, not the only Buffalo fan that listens to this podcast. So we appreciate you rocking with us. Hit the like button, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We could talk Buffalo Dolphins eventually. Matter of fact, hang around for next week, and we got you. But the Hard Knock episode, Kadeem, I don't tweet much, but I had to put a tweet out there last night, and I'm like, yo, what a Christmas! We got a win on Christmas Eve. We got a Chiefs loss on Christmas, which we'll talk about here on this playoff episode, Playoffology 101. And then Hard Knocks came out the day after Christmas, and it was like, yo, does it get any better than this? And I didn't know if it was because it was my team and I was being, my bias was in the way, but it was one of the best Hard Knock episodes I've ever seen. And I watched all the Hard Knocks, all the in-season Hard Knocks, all the nothings on Amazon when that used to be a thing. I don't know why they stopped. Maybe the NFL wanted to go a different direction. I'm not sure. But this episode, and it's only an episode. I want to be clear, it's not the best season of Hard Knocks I've ever seen. Just this one episode. And And I was going to spoil it, but we'll wait for our guest next episode. Matter of fact, we could just go ahead and tell everybody who's coming on the next episode. same old Dolphins. Kasker brothers, Aaron Kasker and Josh Kasker, are coming to the podcast once again. Happy to have them back. We tried to get them back on here earlier this season multiple times. Shout out to everything they got going on over there, and prayers up for Josh's son and everything like that, man. So yeah, man. So we try to get them on a couple times. We're finally going to get them on Fins Up Friday. I think this is going to be the first Fins Up Friday we had them on, but I'm not sure it's the first Fins Up Friday we had a guest on. So it's gonna be Fins Up Friday. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna chop it up. Dolphins are 11-4, and we got a lot to catch up on, man. What's up with you, Kadeem?
I'm not gonna lie, having same old Dolphins here for your Fahrenheit Celsius conversion is going to be epic. Can't lie, I cannot wait for that and that alone. But yeah, same old Dolphins. And Robert Ashton says, yeah, really, same old Dolphins. That'll be awesome, and it really will. Even though I haven't seen all of Hard Knocks, there is one bit I have seen, and it's during the Dallas game. It's essentially the third down play which the Dolphins convert on to essentially, wrap the game up in terms of the like 3rd and 3 pass to Tyreek Hill. And what I loved about that moment in particular is that you can see the trust that Mike McDaniel has in Tua and the trust Tua has in Mike McDaniel. And Mike McDaniel's like, you really want to go with this play? And Tua's like, yeah, I'm serious. Like, this is the play we're going to go with. So that I know I'm butchering what kind of happened, but like, that's that interaction and the whole, not that the season's on the line, but if you get this play wrong, not that I think it fractures the relationship, but it's the fact that Mike McDaniel's like, hey, you're the quarterback of this team, you're the face of the franchise, you're a captain. If you believe in this play, then cool. And before I let you back in as well, it's the fact that as Tua kind of like calls the huddle, he says to the players, hey, don't look at Tyreek. Like, imagine he's not here. Don't give off anything to the Cowboys that makes us think we are going to Tyreek. And at that moment, it's like, listen, that's just for all the people that say that Tua doesn't have it, or he doesn't have that dog in him, or all that kind of stuff. He's not a leader, all of that nonsense. I think even though we've known it's nonsense, surely at this point, like, it's finished.
Shout out to Robert Ashton. What a difference a coach makes, he says. And that's 100%. And what Kadeem is talking about, he said, I think you can see the trust in McDaniel that Tua has and vice versa. And I actually disagree. And once you get to watch the entire episode and see the episode, I think you'll get that clip from a little bit before it and a little bit after it. And here's why I disagree. Tua says, and I'm pretty sure you can find this clip on social media. He says, we just need a first down. And for me, it was like, yo, coach, don't do nothing crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I felt like Tua was saying, bro. We just need a first down. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, Hard Knocks doesn't allow the play call to be said on air because the play calls are hidden. You don't want that verbiage and information out there like that. So I'm gonna assume that Tua told McDaniel the play that he wanted, and it's clear that Tua called this play, and McDaniel's like, oh, okay, and then Tua says, we just need a first down, and then McDaniel's like, you can see him pondering, and then he said, so you like that play? And that right there also says McDaniel's a little unsure, like, that play though, you know what I'm saying? And Tua's like, yeah, man, I'm sure, like, yeah, I'm serious, I'm dead serious. And he kind of like, yo, we just need a first. And then McDaniel calls over Tyreek, and then you could kind of get a feel that the other receivers are in the area, and they're like, no, don't look at him, don't look at him, like, yo, no one look at Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? Exactly what you said. We're not tipping this thing off. And I thought that was a great display of what we don't get to see in Tua. And then right after that, McDaniel's walking down the sideline with his play sheet, and he's talking in the headset to everybody upstairs, like, what do you guys think? You like it? Like, and that told me that I think, yeah, he got his play sheet. You feel me? I was looking for mine. I don't have one. So he was looking at his play sheet, like, hey, what do you guys think? That's what we're going with. What do you think? And I think that was him trying to get affirmation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was him, like, being unsure, like, dang, I don't love it, but what do you guys think? And I'm gonna let Tua do it. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to, and then oddly enough, Darrell Bevel is on this coaching staff, and Darrell Bevel stopped Matt Stafford from calling his own plays because he didn't agree with Matt Stafford. And the Matt Stafford play that he called, that Matt Stafford called, won the game. And then Darrell Bevel called timeout, ended up calling his own play. Darrell Bevel called his play, and they ended up losing the game. So I can understand how a play caller gets into a situation where it's like, I got something for this. And then someone overrules you. Like, yo, I'm the play caller. Ain't nobody gonna overrule me. So for you to have that leeway to give him that freedom to say, all right, well, I'm gonna give it to my quarterback. He wants this, and then that's where you get the what do you guys think? You feel me? Like, so I don't think Tua trusted McDaniel, and I also don't think McDaniel trusted that play in particular. But nonetheless, it worked out. We got the first down, we got the W, and here we are. And I'm not gonna go on too much about Hard Knocks because I know everyone hasn't seen it yet. I'm gonna assume we're gonna talk about it more on Friday when we have our guests here. But Cater Kohu, brother, is my favorite Dolphin fan now. That's it. That is it, bro. He's my favorite Dolphin fan. Someone said on Twitter that, yo, Cater Kohu's little brother is all of us. And I'm like, yo, that's the tweet right there too. He's all of us, bro. So yeah, man. So we got ourselves in a little situation, Kadeem. We got playoffs coming up. We got the best team in the league in the Baltimore Ravens. Just defeated the best team in the league in the San Francisco 49ers. So if we beat the Baltimore Ravens, Kadeem, does that not make us the best team in the league?
Who are we asking? You're asking me, or are you asking Colin Cowherd? You asking many of the various national media who would turn around and say, well, clearly Buffalo were exhausted after a very difficult and, emotionally draining win against the 49ers. And, it doesn't really come because they had to travel and, there's going to be an excuse. I don't know what that excuse is going to be. Actually, it's funny because I used to listen to a podcast, an NFL Network podcast. And I was like, you know what? I want to hear what these guys say about the Dolphins win. So I listened to it very, very quickly. I'll keep it brief. They speak about how they've, all season you ask Dak Prescott to, when it matters, drive down the field, score a touchdown. And he does it. Great. Well done, Dak. And then like, well, you ask Tua to do the same thing. Can you drive down the field and, win your team the game? And they said he couldn't do it. And that the Dolphins had to run the ball. And I was like, what? I was like, timeout. What do you mean Tua didn't do it? Tua made key passes, including that third down pass to Tyreek Hill. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. The reason why I stopped listening to that podcast and a lot of podcasts, listen, there's going to be a narrative. If Tua throws for 1 touchdown and Raheem Mostert gets 3 touchdowns and the Dolphins win 28-7, it's going to be, it was a great defensive performance and Raheem Mostert won the game for the Dolphins, had nothing to do with Tua. Unless it's a 46-40 game and Tua throws for 6 touchdowns again or whatever, that's the only way Tua and the Dolphins get the win or get the credit for this win.
That's why I don't entertain it, because it's foolishness. And that's what we get. You know what I'm saying? So again, I said it against Tennessee. We didn't win. We lost. Tua didn't put us in a position to kick the field goal. So now it's Tua's fault. That's all you're gonna get, although it's a team loss. And vice versa. That has to go both ways. Yeah, okay. Well, now he got us in position to win, but you still don't give him the credit. So nah, it don't work like that. You feel me? I'm done with the foolishness. But look, man, shout out. I seen some in the comments. Can't remember who said it. I'll try to find it. Maybe it was Tim. He said he preferred that Baltimore get the W last week because, recently we had to play teams that were coming off of L's and they're coming in angry, right? And I don't think it's all that bad that Baltimore won. And I know everybody, the consensus in the Dolphins Nation wanted Baltimore to lose. But this episode is going to explain why maybe playoffology needed Baltimore to win for us to have a better outcome in the playoffs. So I remember back in the day in the college football system, it was BCS, and everybody's like, oh, you just want every team in front of you to lose. You know what I'm saying? So you could be number one. This would be prior to the college football playoffs. And I'm like, not necessarily. You kind of want to beat the teams in front of you so you can say you knocked them off. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if Florida State was ranked number 1 and you knew you played them later on in the season, you don't want them to lose until you beat them, and then now you can say, well, that's on my resume. And it's not the same with us in Baltimore, but it kind of plays out that way this time. You got anything for us before we get into this playoffology stuff?
A few more comments. Robert Ashton says, no matter when you ask that question, that was a question about the credit and stuff like that. That when you ask that question, 50% of Dolphin Twitter will say yes and 50% no. And then Moya TV says, we beat a winning team, hated moving the goalpost in T minus 10, 9, 8. So yeah, but no, I have nothing else to add outside of, if you are part of our Patreon channel, our Patreon subscription, then you would have heard us and had the conversation about the playoff scenarios. Didn't have the best website, so we apologize for that. But you got it early. You kind of know where things stand, and you kind of have a bit of a head start in this episode. If you want to get those head starts going forward, like we had a great conversation about, was it Frank Smith? It's Frank Smith, DOC? Frank Smith potentially joining Carolina. Excellent conversation. We'll have it in the offseason as well. But yeah, ESPN's working. I just checked it. It's all good. So I am ready to go when you are.
Shout out to all the patrons. We appreciate y'all rocking with us on Patreon. Let's get into playoffology. As Kadeem brings it up, what we're going to do is we're going to put together different playoff scenarios, all for, worst case scenario for the Dolphins, best case scenario for the Dolphins. And how we're going to do that is we're going to put these, and if for anyone who hasn't seen this playoff machine, it's on ESPN/playoff machine, basically. Shout out to all the audio listeners. Y'all might want to check us out on YouTube. Give us a subscription. Rock with us. Turn on notifications. We appreciate you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the teams that I think are going to win from this week and next week. And once we do that, we'll go back to the key matchups, like obviously the Browns and the Ravens, because the Browns and the Ravens are the only 3 teams that can are viable options to make the 1 seed. So we'll continue, chop it up, throw Buffalo in here, see what we get. But for the most part, this is what the playoffs are going to look like. The next 2 weeks are going to look like. Let's go ahead, Kadeem, start it off. And in the comments, if you got some questions or concerns, or if you think you really lean in one way towards a team winning or losing, let us know, and then we'll try to work out as many as possible during this episode. But Kadeem, we're going to take Cleveland over the Jets Thursday. That's tomorrow. Now, I want to be very clear. The Jets can beat Cleveland. That Joe Flacco thing, it's working right now. It's nice. It's a story. They're going to make a movie about it if he keeps going, if he keeps winning, right? But it's going to stop eventually. It's going to crash. And it's almost like beat the bomb. When you want to get off the Browns train, and it could be tomorrow. So the Jets could win that game tomorrow, but I think the Browns win. What were you about to say something, Kadeem?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting matchup, because I think, like a lot of paper planes game, calling them the Jets, like we respect them. Like a lot of paper planes games essentially since Aaron Rodgers got injured, it's, can this offense score 7 points? And they're up against a very, very, very good defense. So I don't think the paper planes get shut out, but I can see this game being something like 30-9. The paper plane just scoring 3 field goals, and kind of essentially that's it. But yeah, it's not. Listen, we've seen the Raiders just beat the Chiefs, so not that anything can happen, but it wouldn't be, oh my days, I can't believe it, if the paper planes do get the dub over the Browns.
Yeah, so it's possible, but for this scenario, the Browns beat the paper planes. I think Dallas bounces back and beats the Lions. I think the Lions just came off a high. They got their first division championship in 30 years. Dallas is like a 2-game losing streak right now, and they need to find a win somehow, some way. They're playing at home. They get that win. So we'll lock in Dallas. Let's skip over us. We'll go to Buffalo. I think Buffalo gets that win over the Patriots. Can the Patriots win? Sure, but I think Buffalo gets it. I think the Bears sneak this out actually against the Falcons. I'm not going to talk about it too much. The Falcons can beat the Bears. If that game is a toss-up for me, I would never bet on that, not even with your money, Kadeem. But the Bears-Falcons, will take the Bears for this scenario. We'll take the Colts over the Raiders, although the Raiders are playing with a purpose. The Colts are playing for their playoff lives, and you would think they find something in them to like scratch and claw out a win to try to make the playoffs. Then you got the Jaguars versus Carolina. Carolina put up the most points they ever put up in this entire season, but they're still trash. They only got 2 wins. They're not going to have another one. Trevor Lawrence is not playing the best football right now. I think they just came off a 3-game losing streak. I think they just won and came off a 3-game losing streak. Trevor Lawrence had all kind of turnovers trying to catch Josh Allen. I don't know what that's about. What you got, Kadeem?
Doesn't matter if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play because he has like a right shoulder sprain, and they haven't like worked out either way. But it wouldn't be surprising if he does miss out as well.
So Trevor Lawrence might miss his first game since high school. He hasn't missed a game since high school, and he's in jeopardy of missing this week. But we'll still take the Jaguars just for the playoff scenario because it helps our simulation. We're going to take Houston over to Tennessee. I think CJ Stroud comes back and gets them boys right. We'll take LA over New York. We'll take the Eagles over Arizona. We'll take the Bucks over the Saints just because the Bucks can clinch the division if they win. That is also a game that could go either way. It's a toss-up. We'll take San Fran over the 49ers. I'm sorry. San Fran over Washington. And here's where it gets funny. And this was going to be an extra point topic, but I'll just bring it up right here on this episode. I don't think Mike Tomlin gets to 500 this year. He needs one more game to lock in his 500 streak. The only head coach to ever go 500 or to never have a losing season is how you say it. And if he beats Seattle this week, he locks that in. And I actually don't think he beats Seattle this week. And then they got Baltimore next week. So a lot of people think Mike Tomlin is safe. I do not. Seattle wins that game. The Chiefs bounce back against the Bengals. The Broncos bounce back against the Chargers. And
even with Russell Wilson being benched.
Even with Russell Wilson being benched. Russell Wilson just got benched, which is crazy to me. Sean Payton shouldn't have a job either, and I think they should both be gone next year. But then we get the loser out of the Vikings versus Green Bay has to play the Paper Planes next year. So if the Packers lose, Aaron Rodgers will be going back to Green Bay to play in that game. Gotta love it. So let's just set that up just because. So Minnesota wins that because Minnesota finally puts in my boy Jaren Hall, which is not news, but hopefully they figure it out and put in my dog Jaren Hall. What you got, Kadeem?
So I like paint. First of all, shout out to Hannah Montana. She says hola. She is currently working right now, so we appreciate that. And then Robert Ashton says, yeah, hi to Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana got her first Dolphins jersey. She got a throwback Jason Taylor one. So yeah,
that's what's up.
Good to see.
Gang.
No, I think just looking at it right now, I think the big jump was, if I remember correctly, was the Colts moving to the 7th seed. But I think a few other things changed. But outside of that, no. Obviously the main thing is what happens with Dolphins and Baltimore.
Right. So we won't even pick that game yet. Let's go to week 18. So we haven't picked Miami versus Baltimore yet, but we'll go to week 18. So now we got Seattle bouncing back against the Cardinals. Well, not bouncing back because they just beat Pittsburgh. So this is the last week of the season. If you're watching on the simulator, if you're listening on audio version, we're simulating through the last 2 weeks of the season. And we're about to find out what we get. So we have the Seahawks beating Arizona. We have Baltimore beating the Steelers. We have Tampa beating Carolina. The Browns beat the Bengals. The Lions beat Minnesota. Green Bay beats the Bears. And all of a sudden, this game is worth something. When you have the Colts versus the Texans, we'll take the Texans for now, but that'll be a game to watch. I'm pretty sure they're going to flex that into a pretty good spot
Wow.
because that game will be worth something. Chiefs over the Chargers. Let's take the Raiders over the Broncos because the Raiders season will probably be over by then. The Broncos season will probably be over by then. We'll skip over the Dolphins versus Buffalo. We'll go New England over the Paper Plains because Belichick's trying to catch Shula and trying to fleece the Patriots in the meantime by suckering them out of a good draft position. So he wants to win on the way out. We'll also take the Saints over the Falcons. We'll take Philly over the Giants. We'll take the Niners over the Rams. We'll take Jacksonville over Tennessee. And we'll take Dallas over Washington. Now, we have selected all the games, and now we're about to go to week 17 for Ravens and Dolphins and see what happens once we do this. Best case scenario first. All right, we're going to do the simulation with best case scenario first, and we're going to have the Dolphins winning. Obviously, there's a world where we could see the Dolphins winning and securing this division. It's a t-shirt and hat game. You're probably going to be in someone else's locker room putting on a division championship hats and shirts and stuff, which would be pretty cool. And in week 18, you play Buffalo, and it's for you to secure the 1 seed. Buffalo will already be in the playoffs with the 6 seed, but let's see what happens if Miami beats Buffalo in week 18. Ta-da. Voila, magic. So that'll bring Miami to 13-4, and we're the 1 seed, right? So here's why, Kadeem. I said it's not all that bad if Baltimore beats the 49ers. So now we have covered every single game in the next 2 weeks. If the Browns can still make the 1 seed, the Ravens can still make the 1 seed, and the Dolphins can make the 1 seed. If Baltimore would have lost, that would have put the Browns in the 2nd seed with Joe Flacco, and the Bills playing the Browns in the 1st round. So then you have Miami with the bye week, but then you would have seen Buffalo in the 2nd week of the playoffs because I think Buffalo goes into Cleveland with Joe Flacco and defeats Cleveland. Am I afraid of Buffalo? Not even a little bit. Do I want a better matchup? Would I prefer Jaguars or Houston? Of course. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I was trying to say, hey, look, if 49ers lose to Baltimore, it's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? You want help getting the 1st seed, cool. Like if the Chiefs are going to lose and hand us this 1st seed, cool, we'll take it for sure. But it's not all bad that Baltimore won. So now let's go to if we lose against Baltimore, what happens? So we lose against Baltimore. Miami is the 2nd seed. And in week 18, we beat Buffalo. And this is what the schedule will look like so far. It'll be Baltimore with the 1st seed and the bye. And then Buffalo comes to Miami for the first week of the playoffs, wildcard weekend. But it's a home game for Miami. Kadeem, do you know the last road game, playoff game that the Buffalo Bills won? What year it was?
No idea.
1992. Were you even born yet, Kadeem?
Yeah, yes, I was born.
Hey, I don't know. You know, you got to ask these questions. What up, IMAX? Shout out to everybody in the comments. Buy stocks. We see you, bro. He said Buffalo probably go to KC. Now, listen, here's the thing. And I wanted to say this so many episodes ago, but this is important. If you get the 2nd seed, Kadeem, it's not the end of the world, right? You got home playoff games. You're probably not going to see the 1 seed until the AFC Championship. Cool. If you get the 1 seed, you get a bye, and it's still the exact same scenario, whatever. Let's switch this up real quick to see what happens if Miami loses against Buffalo, but defeats Baltimore. So Miami beat Baltimore and lost to Buffalo, and Baltimore becomes the 1 seed, but Miami becomes the 2 seed. And in this scenario, Houston goes to Miami for the first wild card weekend. Miami is the 2 seed, Buffalo is the 6 seed, KC is the 3 seed, and KC and Buffalo play each other. So obviously, for us, it's like, all right, well, this is the matchup we kind of wanted. We wanted Houston. So it's almost like we sacrifice a bye week to play Houston. Will we do it on purpose? Absolutely not. We got a lot of people banged up. We would like that bye week so people could get healthier. But one can argue, playing Houston in the first round of the playoffs and then sending Buffalo to KC, that's a nice little consolation if you don't end up with the 1 seed. So Buffalo goes to KC. Let's just say Buffalo beats KC. I actually think Buffalo goes to KC and beats them and secures their first win in that many years. I ain't doing math real quick off the top, but
32
since 92, you know what I'm saying? Their
it's
first
32 years.
First win in 32 years since 92, road playoff win, right? So Buffalo goes to KC, beats them. Guess what happens in this case scenario, Kadeem? Buffalo goes to Baltimore the next round, and Jacksonville, we'll just say, comes to Miami. So this is not a bad scenario, but this is us losing to Buffalo in the last week of the season. Now, I just want to remind everybody, there's a couple little things that we haven't changed that we won't really necessarily change for this example, because we're just kind of going with the chalk here. Like what are the odds saying? And I think Houston will win over the Colts and stuff like that. So let's just click the Colts right here, and let's see what changes if the Colts beat Houston. What would that look like? So instead of Houston being in the playoffs, the Colts would be in the playoffs. So that's why we're not going to change every game around, because it doesn't really affect Miami like that. It's really the seeding. Like, look, if you get the 1 seed, you get a bye. If you get the 2 seed, you're most likely going to get Houston, Cleveland. Well, not even Cleveland, Houston, the Colts, or even Denver is still possible, but not likely. So that's where we at. Kadeem, you want to switch something up on your own?
Yeah, a few
What
things.
do you think so far?
It's a few things. So, Bystock says Allen never won a playoff away playoff game. Tim Cavill says he lost twice in KC for sure. And yeah, I don't think I know Patrick Mahomes hasn't had a road playoff game. Like,
Patrick Mahomes,
it's insane.
Patrick Mahomes is 11-0 in the playoffs. He's appeared in 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them, and in his entire career, he has never played a road playoff game. So if you couple that stat with Buffalo haven't winning a road playoff game since 92, you see the importance of a home playoff game. You see the importance of the 1 seed. You see the importance of the 2 seed. Like, y'all got to come to us. It doesn't matter who you are. We still got home field advantage. Everyone says it. The playoffs is a different season. It's a whole new season. It has nothing to do with regular season. So you want those home playoff games, and for who the consensus best quarterback in the league right now, and Patrick Mahomes, to have never played in a road playoff game, that says something.
100%. So yeah, Tim said that is a crazy stat. Never played a road playoff game. Bystock's wow. But something that Robert said earlier. Listen, call me crazy, and I probably am, but I can see a world where Patriots beat Buffalo. Yes, I know I'm nuts. I don't think you're nuts. I can see that happening, and that's what I was gonna mess around with and see what happens if Buffalo lose to the Patriots and then lose to us. So I'm gonna have a quick look at that. I'll talk you through it. So Week 17, we beat the Ravens. We clinched the AFC East on our way to the 1 seed, but the Patriots beat Buffalo. And then in Week 18, we beat Buffalo, and that leaves Buffalo out of the playoffs with the Colts the 6th seed and the Texans the 7th seed if the Colts beat Houston. If Houston beat the Colts, then they switch. So if Buffalo lose both their games, and I just want to double check something. If Buffalo lose both their games and the Texans That's interesting. So talking to myself at this point. So week 17, Dolphins win, Buffalo lose, but the Raiders beat the Colts. And then in week 18, Texans beat the Colts and the Dolphins beat Buffalo. Buffalo will make the playoffs as the 7th seed and play Baltimore.
I gotta stop you because you're going a little fast.
Apologies.
I feel like when I was doing it, it was like simple math, like addition. When you were doing it, it became like calculus, like, you know what I'm saying? But to simplify it, if it was a fraction, here's the common denominator. Here's what you need to know. The Colts and the Texans have the tiebreaker over Buffalo. So if the Colts beat the Raiders in week 17 and Houston beats the Titans in week 17, then automatically they play each other in week 18, and it's not going to matter if Buffalo loses 2 games. It's simplified. They have the tiebreaker over Buffalo. The worst they can end up is 9-8 if that was the case. So that's what that looks like if Buffalo loses. And no, I don't think it's crazy if Buffalo loses to New England. I'm actually looking for it. I don't think it happens. I'll be watching. And I also think the paper planes can knock off the Browns. So if we could switch that up real quick, just the paper planes knocking off the Browns tomorrow, which is Thursday night football. Let's see what that will look like and how much that changes. Not much because they already have 11 wins. They'll have 11 wins. They're a 10-win team right now.
So what I just changed for people watching or listening on the audio, if the paper planes beat the Browns and then the Bengals beat the Browns, what happens is that the Bengals become the 7th seed, Cleveland still stay in the 5th seed. So there's still a scenario that, and that, yeah, I know what you mean. Once you start messing around with like 3 or 4 results to start getting all these different things in, then yeah, it becomes confusing at some point. Tim Cavo says, I think last week was the potential L. They won't want to be swept by the Pats. They could have been looking ahead. Nearly happened. Chargers nearly got them.
Almost
Buy
did it.
stock. It was mental. Buy stock says, since your Pits may need to win 2, could be a Buffalo 17-9 type game. That's the Patriots Buffalo game. And Rob SAFC, Sunderland Rob says, hello all. I think I didn't expect the Patriots to beat the Broncos. And again, I just think it will come down to, can this defense ruffle up, this defense being the Patriots defense? Can that defense do enough to essentially disrupt Josh Allen? Can the offense, again, put up maybe 10 points? And same way Biosdock said it could be a Buffalo 17-9 type of game. I could see it being like a Patriots 17-13 kind of game, of 17-14. Bill Belichick will not want to go out with L's. And I just think him being able to essentially say F you to Buffalo and then F you to the Patriots in general would just be the most Bill Belichick thing, saying, I'm going out and I'm taking out as many people with me as possible.
Bro, listen. Last week, and this is why we didn't do this last week. It was 3 weeks left, and it was too many scenarios that could happen. Miami could have been left out the playoffs last week. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go now that we're clinched. It's looking like, yo, you beat Baltimore. You're the 1 seed. You finish it with beating Buffalo, right? Let's go look at worst case scenario, Kaneem. So worst case scenario, let's give Cleveland the win over both the Cincinnati and the Paper Planes. And then we'll give Baltimore the win over us this week. And none of these are unrealistic, by the way. These are pretty like, yo, this could happen. And next week, what happens if we lose to Buffalo? Let's see what that looks like. All right. So I think he gave Buffalo a loss somewhere. What's Buffalo's record? Okay. All right. What you just switched just now?
Patriots. I switched to Buffalo to beat in the Patriots.
Right. All right. So now this is the worst case scenario. Dolphins lose to Baltimore and Dolphins lose to Buffalo, meaning Miami loses out, Buffalo wins out. Worst case scenario is Baltimore gets the 1 seed,
2
Buffalo
seed.
suddenly gets the 2 seed. So all of that season and all of that nasty looking ugly football they were playing, none of it matters because they're 11-6 with the 2 seed and with a steam like ahead of just all kind of momentum behind them, right? Now we got to hear about it on social media, and Miami has to go to Arrowhead and play the Chiefs in another playoff game that Mahomes has never seen the road. You feel me? So it's like, dang, if we could just take care of business, knock off one more of these teams, we just win one more game, we put ourselves in a situation where we're no lower than the 2 seed. You see what I'm saying? So one game is important, and there's no game more important than the next one. So you win this next one, you're most likely going to be the 1, but you really just want to win it just to confirm that you're the 1 or the 2. So you don't want to see this worst case scenario and Buffalo getting the 2 seed and the Dolphins being the 6 seed going to Kansas City in the first round of the playoffs, then going to Baltimore, then probably seeing Buffalo in the AFC Championship. It's just, just take care of business, win one more game, and things will look pretty good.
Yeah. Tim says, don't worry, be zappy. JMR says, hey, what's up, my GTD brothers and sisters? Hey, JMR. And Robert Ashton says, that's the worst case scenario. But you know what? If it happens, I'm backing us against the Chiefs. And that's the thing. We saw Dolphins Chiefs in Germany. Dolphins nearly pulled it out or nearly tied the game at the very least. I think Dolphins Chiefs in this scenario, yeah, I can see us causing the upset, if it would even be an upset, and the Dolphins beating Kansas. I think for a lot of things, I think the way Mike McDaniel coaches this team, I think they will, even if worst case scenario happens, I still think they will back themselves and believe in themselves enough to overcome Kansas. But you just don't want to go into the playoffs on the back of 2 defeats, and especially not win the AFC East.
I agree 100%. I think Miami goes into Kansas City, will beat Kansas City. But now it's not just about being Kansas City. Now you got to beat Kansas City on the road. Then you got to beat Baltimore on the road. Then you got to beat Buffalo on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that's not a hole you want to put yourself in. So let's just switch any one game now. Like, let's say we lose. Let's just say we win the Buffalo game next week. So we still lose the Baltimore this week, and I can just imagine the anxiety going into week 18, knowing that this is either for the 2 seed or the 6 seed. Like, if you lose this game, Buffalo wins the division and you become the 6 seed. So yeah, you just want to win one game, secure your 2 seed minimum and your division, and you get your t-shirt, your hat, division champs, and we'll see what happens. Any other I don't think Pittsburgh can knock off Baltimore. Anybody in the comments got a scenario where it's like, hell, well, let's see what happens if this happens? But really, there's no other games that really matter to us too much. Like, I could see the paper planes. Yeah. So if you didn't catch that, Kadeem just had a scenario where, the Browns beat the paper planes, likely, and the Browns also beat the Bengals, which is also probably their favorite in. But Baltimore slips on a banana peel in week 18 and loses to Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin wants to finish with a winning record and they play hard for him. And then Cleveland becomes the 1 seed. Go figure.
So yeah, also that would mean the Dolphins beating the Ravens, but then losing to the Bills. So Dolphins are the 2 seed, Buffalo are the 6 seed, Baltimore are the 5th seed. And just to see if if the Dolphins do beat the Ravens, and then the Dolphins do beat the Bills, and then the Steelers beat the Ravens, how that looks is Dolphins are the 1 seed, Baltimore are the 5th seed, and Buffalo are the 6th seed. That's mental. So yeah, just messing around with things. It's again so many things can happen. I feel like we've done without getting too deep into it, like, oh, what happens if the Chargers beat Kansas City? Like, there's some results like that one. Chargers beat Kansas City in week 18. It means nothing. Like, it's just okay, cool, good for you.
Yeah, and then there's some that are insignificant to the Dolphins, right? It's fun to check it out, like the Colts and Houston in real life, the Saints and Tampa Bay in real life. That's for the division. If Tampa wins that, they win the division. So Detroit versus Dallas. Dallas is playing for their lives right now. Detroit just won. I would think Detroit probably takes their foot off the gas just a little bit, not intentionally either. Like, yo, we just won the division in first time in 30 years. We're going to Dallas. Dallas just lost back-to-back games. Dallas is going to get that win. Unless it's just an epic collapse about to happen in Texas. So yeah, I like where we are. I thought we would lose to Dallas and beat Baltimore. Spoiler alert. Nah, I'm not even gonna spoil that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna spoil that. But yeah, I thought we would beat Baltimore and lose to Dallas, and this is where we are. But back to what do you guys think in the comments? The 49ers were the best team in the NFL, and they lost to Baltimore. So now Baltimore is the best team in the NFL. If the Dolphins beat Baltimore at Baltimore, and we didn't say this enough, Kadeem, on the last episode, we got to say this. The Dolphins had 4 backup O linemen in, bro, and we won that game against Dallas. No one's going to say, oh, well, you guys get extra credit for winning because you have 4 backup linemen in. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? So if the Dolphins beat Baltimore with 4 backup linemen, no Waddle, injured Raheem Mostert, friend of the podcast, Javon Holland might still be out. Bro, you beat Baltimore at Baltimore with that? I don't know, bro. Like, you thought last episode was pretty live. I don't know, boy. I might, man, we might have to get some sensory on the podcast, bro. I might. Let me stop. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
It's absolutely mental. Robert Ashton says, lose against Baltimore, Dolphins Twitter and meltdown, national media and a feeding frenzy. I think if we lose to Baltimore, I don't think Dolphins Twitter would be in a meltdown. Obviously, it depends on the way we lose. Like, if we lose to a pick 6 or something, if we lose in a similar way to we lost to the Titans, there might be a meltdown. But I think there's a quiet optimism that the Dolphins can go to Buffalo and win, but also kind of going, hey, you're going on the road with still a banged up team against, at the very least, the best team in the AFC. Like, losing that game doesn't make the Dolphins a bad team. It's just, hey, pick yourself up, go again against Buffalo the week after. Robert Ashton says, you've done well explaining. My head isn't hurting. And JMR says, hi, Robert. What I really need is to beat the Ravens so Buffalo isn't playing for the division.
Listen, I don't watch too much TV, but I do, I like to keep up with my NFL stuff. And what I noticed is, Kadeem, last year, I was like, yo, the Dolphins ain't sneaking up on nobody no more. We got the best offense in the league. It's a real sexy offense. I think it ended top 6, maybe, in total yards or something like that last season. And we're not sneaking up on anybody. Tyreek Hill, Waddle. I didn't think we were still sneaking up on people. And yet people still doubted and didn't believe in us. And I think that was because they didn't believe in Tua. So I'm like, dang, that's crazy that them not believing in Tua still allows us to sneak up on teams. I'm like, that's wild. And then this year happened. Tua doesn't get injured. Everybody's concerned about his health. And here we are with the number 1 ranked offense in the league. And we're sneaking up on people still somehow. So how about this, Kadeem? I peep. I'm on to you. I'm on, not you, but I'm on to the media. I'm on to you. Want to know why, Kadeem? Because the media think they slick. The Dolphins are in the news we're a headline when it's like, oh, can this happen? Can Tua do this? Is when they're trying to bring us down. we're all over the national media. When they're trying to put us in the national media to talk bad on us and talk down on us, that's when we're in the national media. When we're doing good, you can't even find us, bro. Like, so I'm watching TV like, yo, where we at? You know what I'm saying? You just sprinkle us in at the end a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's more about Dallas. It's more about Baltimore. It's more about these other teams. Like, dang, you only talk about us when it's something bad. Y'all don't talk about us like, hey, Miami's a pretty good team now. And you get a couple people. Shout out to Louis Riddick. You know what I'm saying? You get a couple people that'll say some good things. And like, nah, bro, I'm riding with Miami. Robert RG3, Robert Griffin. You feel me? But I find it funny how the best team in the league could lose to Baltimore. Now, Baltimore is the best team in the league with the reigning MVP, with not reigning MVP, but the MVP front runner, just knocked off the previous MVP front runner. And now here come the Dolphins. And if we beat Baltimore, I want to see that same what the kids say nowadays. Keep that energy. I want to see the same energy. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the same thing. Like, I want my quarterback to be the MVP front runner, and I want us to be talked about like the best team in the NFL. Because y'all boys tripping, and all of a sudden, watch the pivot. Like, boy, you gonna think basketball became football, and people just gonna start pivoting again.
Just quickly on that, I do think a lot of it is you talk negatively about the Dolphins, especially not even on Twitter. You talk negatively on Twitter. It's going to be clipped, posted on social media, and it's comments. Colin Cowherd knows exactly what he's doing. Like, he speaks negatively about Tua and the Dolphins. Everyone's in his comments. He's like, hey, that's engagement. I'm going to keep getting my show because I know how to rile up Dolphin fans enough that you guys like, same way people who pay for the blue tick on Twitter now, and they get paid by their engagement. You say something dumb about Tua or something that people are going to disagree with, everyone's in your mentions. And it's like, hey, that's money for me. So they keep on doing it over and over and over again. Listen, very quickly, we know YouTube creators who made their name be negative about Tua.
I was just about to say, I don't even know if people are Dolphin fans, but we got a fraudulent Dolphin fan out there with a podcast that knows if I just talk about Tua on my Dolphin podcast, I'm going to get engagements and I'm going to get, basically pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So I think people like that got it coming from them. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out to Robert Ashton says watching the Dallas game, but the offense was just off a bit. But more I watched it, more it felt like offense was firing well with the players they had, and it was just Cowboys were trying hard to win. Biostock says Robert to have been outplaying Allen. Robert then adds Chubb changes a couple of those nearly sacks into sacks and keep Jackson's from scrambling, and we are golden. Biostock adds keep Jackson in front of you, do not charge at him, before saying if Miami beats Baltimore, do they need the Buffalo game? JML says we will still need to beat Buffalo for the 1 seed and home field. That's the price you have to pay for dropping the Titans game. And basically, yeah. So if Miami beats Baltimore, all it does is clinch the AFC East. Depending on, but if the Dolphins beat Baltimore, lose to Buffalo, and then the Baltimore beat the Steelers, that should have the Steelers back in the 1 seed, I believe. And just to double check that, because I'm saying like I can't have the thing up right now. So playoff scenario. So quickly, Dolphins beat Baltimore. Then week 18, Bills beat Dolphins, and the Baltimore beat the Steelers. And Baltimore have the 1 seed at 13-4. Dolphins have the 2nd seed at 12-5, and Buffalo are the 7th seed at 10-7.
So to simplify by stocks, Dolphins win out, they're the 1 seed. If Dolphins win against Baltimore but lose against Buffalo, we're more than likely going to be the 2 seed. You're going to need help from Pittsburgh to beat Baltimore if we lose to Buffalo. So all you want is Miami to win the next 2 games. If Miami loses one of those, what you got, Kadeem?
You said that's what you want. He's a Bills fan. Bills Mafia
Oh,
fan
but
for
hold
50
on.
years.
Hey, this guy. Hey, so we got 2 Bills fans in the comments. Like I didn't even know. It was 2 Bills fans in the comments because I said we got Bills fans that watch the podcast, right? And then I didn't know he was a Bills fan as well. But shout out to you. What you want is the Dolphins to beat Buffalo in week 18 so you can have a healthy playoff and just watch from home. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? But nah, that's what we want for real. But nah, man. So yeah, man. That's what we get. So Dolphins win out. We win the 1 seed. Buffalo basically needs to, because of all the trash teams around Buffalo, like the Colts aren't healthy, the Texans aren't healthy, Denver keeps losing. I believe the Bills get in just with 1 win. 1 more win and the Bills are in my opinion. So I think they just beat New England this week. They'll be in. They won't clinch, but they'll be in. Well, I guess they do clinch if they win this week. But yeah, that's what. Yeah. Buffalo clinches with a win this week.
Cool. He also says subbed and liked here. Good luck for road. Genuinely, we appreciate it. To every single one, be it you're a Buffalo fan, Dolphins fan, Green Bay fan, or don't even like NFL at all, but you support us. You know,
Yeah.
it makes a massive, massive difference to the channel, the likes, the subscriptions. It tells YouTube that this is a channel to watch as we keep on getting bigger and bigger. And I think our next goal is like 300 subs away from 2,000 subs on YouTube.
Not even gonna lie, we got some pretty cool fans. Go Time Dolphins podcast. We got some pretty cool fans from other teams. We got some Cowboy fans. We got some Buffalo fans. We got some paper plane fans. I think we got a couple Titans fans. So we got a couple fans from other teams. They rock with us. We rock with y'all. No foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not the. I'm sure there's fools in every fan base. And they want to get stuff started and all kind of foolishness. We not really on that, but just know the sneak dissing and the shots back. If we take shots, okay, I don't mind taking shots on the way back. You feel me? Like ask the Chargers how well we respond to foolishness if people start shooting at us. You know what I'm saying? Like Chargers fans would just not let us live and be happy with Tua. They had to be like, oh, y'all got Tua, y'all got the lemon. And now look at us. How's that Herbert thing working out for the Chargers right now? You know what I'm saying? Like how many times they made the playoffs? How well did that playoff game go being up 28 and losing in the playoffs? Herbert, Chargers, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we can clap back when it's time to clap back. That's all I'm saying. But we prefer to just be cool, chilling, calm and collected.
Final few comments before we head into bonus time. Robert Ashton says we only hate the Patriots. Rob says, I hate the Jets, Bills, and Pats. Robert, and Newcastle. Rob, I might have to live stream the Newcastle Sunderland game because that is going to be amazing. And JMR says, LOL. But yeah, hope join some bonus time.
Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
To the comment from Bystocks says there's a tweet in Buffalo. We should have got Josh Rosen back in 2018. That would be wild. Absolutely wild.
I like Josh Rosen. I think he got a real chance. He'll be an okay quarterback, but I don't think he got a legit chance.
I think time in the NFL is done. Like I just don't think any team is gonna try and pick him up when there's so many guys.
He's grits now. I'm just saying, like any young quarterback, even David Carr. David Carr was legit. You know what I'm saying? And Houston ruined him. Like he didn't have no protection. They ruined him. But I think you gotta groom your quarterbacks.
Definitely. There was one thing I was going to mention in bonus time, but something that I think Bias Doc said made me pivot to something else. So you're not on social media much, but I saw you respond to a comment this morning with a different opinion to one that I responded to the same comment. So it's a Dolphins fan. She said that she matched online with a Patriots fan. And she
Yep.
was like, what do I do? So I said, I was like, hey, go for it. You clearly have something big in common in terms of the NFL, and it makes those games extra spicy. What did you say?
So there's a chick online, and we're assuming she kind of matched, meaning she probably was online dating and met a Patriots fan. She's a Dolphins fan, and she was online dating and met a Patriots fan. And she's like, "Yo, me and dude is pretty cool. It's going pretty well." But I had to come to the Dolphins Nation to for some guidance. You know what I'm saying? And everybody had their own opinion. And Kadeem said, "Yeah, go for it. Whatever Kadeem said, love is love. I don't know what he said. He said whatever he said." And I was like, "Nah, no deal. No Patriots. Like Colts, Texans, Titans, cool. But Patriots, like, bro, first argument that comes up, I guarantee dude is throwing some salt in the wound, boy. Like he's gonna say something about, oh, your Dolphins are such and such, and we got 6 rings. I like, look, man, that's unhealthy. You don't need that negativity in your life. So no Patriots fans.
So I guess my wider question to everyone in the comments as well. I know you've listened on audio, message us on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Could you, or do you think it's acceptable to date essentially a AFC East team? So if you're a Dolphins fan, can you date someone who is a Patriots, Paper Planes, or Bills fan? For me, yeah, doesn't bother me too much. When you beat you, I get to laugh at you. Is what it is. I'm fortunate that Hannah Montana, start of our relationship was like, hey, I'm gonna be a Dolphins fan. Her dad, on the other hand, my father-in-law, is a Patriots fan. So so like at the moment I'm just laughing at him. It's like you can't say anything to me. So yeah, Robert Ashton says I voted to give him a chance to pat suck and he'll see the light. But yeah, I just it's a bit of it's a bit of friendly banter, make the relationship a bit more spicy. And really and truly, if you're gonna fall out over teams you support, the person's probably an idiot anyway.
I ain't gonna lie. Real life, you know what I'm saying? Because social media isn't real life. That's why I said it. But real life, I could absolutely date someone from that was going for like the Paper Planes or the Bills or the Patriots. I think it'll make it fun. Like,
Yeah.
let's bet. Let's get some relationship bets going on. You know what I'm saying? Let's spice it up a little bit since that's your team. You feel me? So yeah, it'll actually be fun. And if I'm being honest with you, you want to be a Dolphins fan right now anyway, because we're probably gonna sweep the division next year. So you're gonna have, they might talk about some previous stuff, and when they bring up the previous stuff, just bring up the undefeated season, right? And then when they talk about current stuff, let's talk about current stuff. When the last time you beat the Dolphins? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, in real life, go for it. Fake life, you don't need that negativity.
Not at all. Anything else from you?
Nah, man, that's it. Hey, next episode, we got same old Dolphins joining us, Aaron and Josh Kasker. I can't wait. Like, it's just gonna be a reunion of Dolphin fans and getting to fill out how everybody's feeling about the season, seeing how people feel about Hard Knocks. I don't want to disclose too much of the episode, but I imagine it's just going to be some Dolphin fans coming to the round table and just having it's almost like if we were just having a pint, like Kadeem would say, just chilling, like, hey, what do you think? What's the outlook? Where we going? All the good stuff. So I'm looking forward to this episode with Same Old Dolphins on Fins Up Friday. We're going to see what happens.
Tim Carroll asked Friday, 8 p.m. UK time. Unfortunately, not. It is Friday, but it is 11 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Eastern. A bit later than we have midweek, but I think our Friday shows are normally a bit later anyway. Yeah, Robert Ashton said, I hope so. Early, but I ain't missing that one. JMR said that'd be fun. Be well, fellas. So no, just to confirm and clarify, we'll put it out on the socials as well. Friday, 11 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Anything else, work out for yourself. That's what Google is for. Same old Dolphins, Go Time Dolphins, over here on Go Time Dolphins. We shall see you on the next one. Peace.